Hi, this is Catherine with the Homestead Guru. We are still here at the Raven Rock Eco Village, and I am with my new friends, John and Wanda, and this is their amazing home that they have been working on for decades. Let's pause for the car.
The oldest part of the house was built in 1892, and we took it on as a project to renovate it in 1976, and 5 years later we moved in. Much of what you can see behind us has been added later too. Let's go take a look more closely. Okay, I'm pointing to the collectors for heating our domestic hot water. They're on this lower part that we can reach to clean the snow off. Over here on the far roof are the photovoltaic for generating electricity from the sun. And between the PV and the hot water is the glazing for the sun space, or call it a greenhouse. The additions to this old house that you saw when we're standing in front were designed by the architect Malcolm Wells. He conceived the additions, and we've tried to follow his plans pretty closely. I'm standing in the kitchen next to a wood stove that we used to heat with and still do occasionally. Do you want to look at the chutes?
Yeah, so I got a tour earlier, and this is my favorite room in the house because there are some amazing little chutes over here. Come check them out.
Under the sink are chutes that go to the basement. They're 8-inch diameter pipes labeled glass, steel, and plastic. And there are some barrels and bins in the basement to collect before we box up to haul to the recycler. And over there, Catherine's going to show you
What's down in here?
the garbage chute. That 12-inch chute goes to the composting tank in the basement, which we'll see in just a minute.
The most exciting thing ever.
The name of the company that produces these composting toilets is Clevis Multrum. And next to me here, you see the toilet itself. And when I open the lid like this, people who are familiar with it cringe because they expect this surge of odor coming up. It doesn't happen because there's a fan that runs all the time and pulls air from the house down the chute, and so it's an odorless bathroom. It's wonderful.
And I can verify that. I'm standing here and there's no smell. Now in this room, there's another chute.
Yes. There's a laundry chute.
Right over here.
That cloth bag you see there is hanging on the bottom of a clothes laundry chute. And when Wanda's ready to do the laundry, she unties the bottom of the bag and the clothes drop down on the counter.
Beautiful. Okay, so we are down in the basement, and this is where the rest of the chutes end up. This is the giant composting vessel, is that what you would call it?
Okay.
And this is where the toilet and the compost from the kitchen all end up. So all of these tubes, right? This is the kitchen one, if I remember correctly?
That's right.
And then these are the 2 toilets that you have in the house, and is this, what's the third one?
That's the vent.
That's the vent. Okay.
And there are 2 chutes for the toilets because we have a bathroom on the first floor and one on the second floor.
Okay, and then if you come this way, here's where the recycling comes down through these chutes. So these are the chutes that were underneath of the kitchen sink. And I mean, this is truly like my favorite part of the house is just the kitchen and the bathrooms coming down into this area. I'm in love.
We're standing in the basement, and through these openings with the arches, you can see the greenhouse. And the lowest level of the greenhouse, the floor, is about here, half a level up toward the first floor. But the greenhouse is very tall. It's more than 20 feet tall. And the plastic drapes in these openings allow air to flow one way. When we're heating in the house in the wintertime with solar heat, the circulation is into the house with the hot, and then the cool air, which comes down to the basement through the open stairway, finds its way back into the greenhouse, past this plastic. And at night in the wintertime, when the greenhouse cools off, the cold air can't spill back into the basement.
Beautiful.
And just thin stainless steel cables. And they support the plastic when it's being pushed from the greenhouse side.
That's natural light into the basement as well.
Yeah, we get all this light. We're standing in the greenhouse, and above Johari are the drying racks or clotheslines. Those white tubifores are suspended from high up, and they can be lowered down so someone can reach them to hang clothes on for drying. And right here is one of the doors directly into the living space, and above it is another door on the second floor. When we want to heat the house with the solar hot air, we open those doors and we get passive heating because the hot air goes into the house through those doors and returns through these arched openings down below. If we want, that's passive solar heating. If we want to get heat in the house faster, there's a blower way up near the top, and when that runs, it forces air through the duct system in the house for active solar heating.
That's amazing. So this is one of the doors we were just looking at into the greenhouse that lets the hot air into the house, and if you walk through this way, you will find one of their guest rooms. Now in here, what I wanted you all to see is another example of a different type of composting toilet. And so this one has peat moss inside, correct?
Yes.
And it also has a fan blowing out. But as you can see, the tank is all contained here in this system. And this one does not separate urine from stool. None of the three in your house separate the urine from the stool. Mine at home does. And sometimes I kind of wish I had one that didn't separate because I don't have a fan sucking the air out of my urine side. I only have a fan sucking the air out of my stool side. And I believe that the urine actually smells pretty bad.
And this has a drum that you can rotate with a hand crank to mix the pile.
Beautiful.
The compost.
Okay, well thank you guys for watching and thank you for the tour. I am so impressed. I am telling you, after being here in Ohio, I'm dreaming bigger. My dreams are expanding. I feel like I don't need to be in a little converted school bus anymore. I want something like this. I really appreciate you taking the time today. I know you guys are trying to get out the door.
I'm glad you came. And you can learn more about what's at Raven Rocks by going to our website, ravenrocks.org.
Thank you.